Hi, I'm Jenny Ford. I work as a freelance consultant with SevernNet. From mid-2025 through to January this year, I undertook a comprehensive study on the skills landscape across Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside. This was looking at the labour market, employment engagement, career pathways and inclusion, community perspectives, green skills and the industrial transition. The work was funded through a collaboration with local colleges, Weston and Stroud, City of Bristol and Weston. The report highlights challenges such as recruitment fiction, underused apprenticeships, limited visibility of progression pathways, and gaps in local skills data and foresighting. In particular, we're interested in getting more local people into roles in the area. We're looking at work experience and apprenticeships, entry-level roles and career progression, internal training, and working with external partners. It also includes adults returning to work, changing careers, or upskilling. This means we have to better understand how local residents come across roles, how they travel from the surrounding villages, and this is not as easy as it sounds. Some of our key findings were industrial transition, which includes in-development and speculative projects such as hydrogen, heat networks, alternative fuels, offshore wind, nuclear, and carbon capture, benefits from strong convergence around shared technical skills families and opportunities to phase and modularise the training while the technologies and industries develop. There will be new and diversified roles for mechanical installation, electrical commissioning, plant maintenance, process safety, digital monitoring and quality assurance. Transport is consistently cited as a primary recruitment and retention barrier. Varying shift patterns, unreliable rail services, first and last mile connection gaps, and car dependency significantly constrain access to employment in the area. Across Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside, transport is not simply an infrastructure issue, it is a workforce participation issue. It shapes who can access work, sustain employment and progress. Industrial transition strategies that do not address mobility constraints risk narrowing rather than widening that access to opportunity. Many Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside employers have developed significant in-house training, including health and safety certification, plant and licence training, leadership development and technical compliance upskilling. However, this training is often not fully recognised in the region's training and education ecosystem. It's not captured in regional intelligence and not connected into FE and HE progression pathways. The system under-recognises employer capability, and so greater visibility and coordination is needed here to unlock existing capacity. We found that language and terminology is often a barrier to systems change and therefore the integration of these new technologies and skills. Green skills, for example, require clearer and more consistent language. Employers rarely use the term green skills spontaneously. However, when framed in operational terms, such as efficiency, compliance, cost control, process optimization, system performance, the underlying message aligns closely with what policy describes as green skills. Decarbonisation resonates most when grounded in competitive capability and industrial performance, rather than abstract environmental framing. Visibility is key to deepening this understanding. Cluster-based approaches that reflect live, tangible industrial systems are much more effective than generic green economy narratives. Cluster interaction can aid sector innovation awareness. SevernNet's current work is around supporting better cluster interaction and introduction so that we can increase the amount of collaboration in this area. Inclusion and place matter. PAS combines major industrial assets with communities facing transport barriers, confidence gaps, and limited visibility of the opportunity. Employer training rooms and community hubs, along with the local networks, represent underused infrastructure for engagement, foundational skills, and modular pathways into technical roles. Industrial decarbonisation must be accompanied by inclusive workforce access if it's to deliver that long-term regional benefit. With so many sectors across the area, there is no real front door to industry. This lack of visibility is a major barrier and excludes many from opportunities that are literally on their doorstep. We often talk about a skills gap, but what we're really seeing here is a connection gap. There is so much to be tapped into, better linked up, more locally delivered, and we must do this if we are to reap the benefits of being one of the region's key economic growth zones. So a look at the recommendations. The question now isn't just what the challenges are, it's what we do next and how we solve this together. Establish a coordinated place-based skills infrastructure, a model we call the Skills Academy Without Walls. This is not a new institution, but a shared delivery infrastructure connecting employers, FE, HE and civic partners around Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside. The Skills Academy Without Walls seeks to convene employers, providers and authorities, map shared curriculum to the local industrial decarbonisation plan priority skill families, broker work experience and modular training, embed continuous employer intelligence, and respond dynamically to project phasing. We also seek to develop sector stories through a cluster-based SevernNet Business Explorer pilot. The SevernNet Business Explorer provides the platform to make the Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside clusters, not just sectors, visible, navigable and connected. Through short-form, employer-led storytelling, the platform enables cluster-level visibility, so we're looking at aggregates, logistics, waste, heat networks, advanced manufacturing, clear articulation of teams, roles and progression pathways, day-in-the-life insights, project-based storytelling across value chains, and direct links to work experience and recruitment opportunities. We also hope to deliver the Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside Community Skills Display. The Community Skills Display is a co-designed mobile engagement project developed with creative partners and local residents to A. Surface visible pathways into PAS industries, B. Translate industrial transition into accessible narratives, C. Connect lived experience to workforce strategy, and D. Move between community venues, colleges, employer sites and public events to get maximum exposure. This is cultural infrastructure workforce development. It complements the SevernNet Business Explorer by reaching audiences not naturally engaging with digital platforms, and it strengthens inclusive pathways through trusted community spaces. We found across the Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside area that there's a lot of things that are quite hidden from the public eye. We've got a lot of small industrial estates and people often don't see what happens behind those gates. We've also got a lot of disconnection between the villages, the transport system and the industrial area. And that is exacerbated by roadworks, freight transport and the like. I think what we found is that it's quite challenging to tell really exciting sector stories alongside doing your day-to-day business. So what we hope to do, particularly through the Business Explorer platform, is uncover some of those kind of more exciting elements that can attract a younger audience and reveal actually like what it's like to work as a team, what the day-to-day kind of like tasks and roles are, and the different things around kind of like shift work, kind of early starts, all this kind of thing around working and traveling across the area. I think the biggest difference to attracting and retaining new employees in the area is really through the things that are happening like across the board. It's not just the individual business and their activities, it's the range of sectors, it's the connection between them, and it's the kind of ecology and kind of unique environment that actually exists here across Portbury, Avonmouth and Severnside, which we really want to work to highlight and bring to the fore.